Okay, so this is from my 6th graders. So we're doing fractions, decimals, and percent. We're going to go over the power triangle, which should just be some notes to kind of help you with going between decimals, percents, and fractions. Okay, so from a decimal, you're going to move the decimal to the right 2 times. And something that I learned from someone else is if you think Dr. Pepper, that'll always tell you what you need to do. So if you want to get from a decimal to a percent, move to the right 2 places, right? Decimal to percent, 2 places to the right. If you want to go from a percent to a decimal, well then you do the opposite. You go 2 to the left. Okay, so if you can remember Dr. Pepper, that'll always tell you which way you need to go. Okay, and then percent, you're going to put, from percent to fraction, you're going to put the percent over 100 and then simplify it. And then for dividing, you're going to put the top number, so to get from fraction to decimal, you're going to have to divide it. So you put the top number, or the numerator, inside, right, inside your little division. Numerator goes here, and the denominator goes on the outside. So top is in, and bottom out. So top in, bottom out. Okay, so let's do some examples here. So let's go ahead and go to this page. So if I want to change, or actually I just want to show you all the different ways that you can write division. So 2 divided, so you can write it out in words, 10 divided by 2. You can write it as 10 divided by 2 with the division symbol. You can write it in the division box, 10, the top number inside, and then 2, the bottom number on the outside. And then you can write it as a fraction, right? Numerator on top, the first number on top, and then the second number on bottom. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here. So this would be 12 divided by 4, which is also 12 divided by 4 here, which is also 12 divided by 4. Okay, so just know that that first one, when you're talking about, when you're writing it out, and you're talking about division, that first number,
signal lost.
Sorry, that first number is always going to be your numerator. So it's going to be your first number when you're writing division out with the division symbol. It's going to be the inside number when you write it in the box, and it's going to be the top number when you're writing it in fraction form. Okay, so now you got 2 examples. You should definitely have an easy time just writing this out. So you're not actually doing the division, right? You're just writing it, so you should be able to get that done really quickly. Alright, so let's go to the next page. It says rewrite each fraction as a standard division problem. So again, we're just rewriting. We're not even doing the division, so that's really simple, right? So again, the top number always goes on the inside. Even if it's smaller than the bottom number, it's still going to go on the inside. So for example, 3, my top number is going to go inside the box, and then the bottom number is going to go on the outside. Okay? So maybe you can think of it as like the top numbers are, you know, more well-to-do numbers, right? So they get to be on the inside, right? They get to be sheltered on the inside, maybe in a big house, and then the bottom numbers, maybe they're not as lucky and they don't get to be sheltered in a house. They have to be on the outside. Maybe you could think that way. I know that's kind of a cruel way to think, but that's kind of what I think of sometimes, that the top numbers get to be on the inside, in a nice warm shelter, and then the bottom numbers, they have to be on the outside, or they, don't have what they need to be on the inside or something like that. Okay, so you're just going to rewrite these. We're going to go to the next page. So now we've got practice 73. It says divide the numerator by the denominator and keep the whole number. Okay, so we are going to actually divide this. So we're going to have to do some of our work here. So remember, our numerator, or our top number, goes on the inside. It's treated better, right, than the bottom numbers, and the bottom number goes on the outside. And this 2 can't go into 1, right? So we're going to have to add a decimal and a 0. So now it's 10, right? Now I just pretend like that's 10. So 2 goes into 10 5 times, right? And I just keep that decimal up here. And 10 minus 10 is 0, so I'm done. This will be 0.5. Okay, so I'm going to do another example. Let's go ahead and do, so this is what they were talking about when they said keep the whole number. So we're going to keep the 1 here, and then the 3/8 we're going to divide the 3/8 to figure out what this decimal is. Right, so we're going to do 3 on the inside, 8 on the outside, because 3 is on the top. 3 is a top number. It's a well-to-do number, so it gets to be on the inside. 8 doesn't go into 3 though, so we got to add a 0 here. 8 can go into 30. We're going to keep that decimal up here as well. So 8 goes into 30. Let's see. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. So it'd have to be 3 times. So 8 times 3 is 24. Subtract that. That's going to be 6. Bring down a 0. Right? If we can't, if it's not subtracted evenly, you got to bring down a 0. So 8 goes into 60. Let's see. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 7 is 56. So we have to be 7. 8 times 7 is 56. Subtract, that's going to give you 4. And then you bring down another 0. That's going to give you 40. 8 times 5 is 40. So that will be the end of our division on that one. So this is going to be 1.375. Okay. So you should. Signal lost. Sorry about that. So we should be able. You guys should be able to do this. You've done this before, so I think this is really just review. So you have 2 examples where you're just dividing, and you're putting the decimal there. Okay, and like I said, if you have a whole number on the outside, you just keep that whole number on the other side of the decimal place, and whatever you get from your division, you put that on the decimal side of the whole number. Okay, so that's the front page of that. This one we're doing the opposite. We're going to change a decimal to a fraction. So they give you an example here. So like if you had 2.25, you're going to keep the whole number on the outside, and then the decimal, if it's to 2 numbers, that goes to the hundredths place, right? This is the hundredth, this is the tenth, this is the hundredth. So hundredths would be over 100. So 0.25 is 25 hundredths. So we're going to put 25 over 100. And then from there we could simplify, right? So 0.1, I don't have any whole number, and it's only to the 10th place. So that's going to be 1 over 10. Right, because this is to the 10th place. And it doesn't get more simple than that. For number 2, I do have a whole number, so I'm going to keep that. And then I have this 2 here. That's the 10th place, so I'm going to put it over 10. So 2 over 10. I can simplify that, right? So I'm going to simplify that down to 1, and common factor between these is 2, so 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 10 divided by 2 would be 5, so 1 1/5. that one. Let's do one that has two numbers. Okay, so let's do, for example, 15 and 16. No, not 15, 16, sorry, 17 and 18. 17 and 18. So this one doesn't have a whole number, so I'm just writing the fraction. So this is going to be, this is to the hundredths place, so this is going to be over 100, so 12 over 100. Let's think of some factors of 12. We got 3, 4, 6, 2. I know that 6 is not a factor of 100. 4 is, though, so I think that's my greatest common factor. So I'm going to divide both of these by 4. Right, so if I divide both sides by 4, that'll give me 3 on top, and it'll give me 25 on the bottom. And that would be my most reduced form of this fraction or decimal or ratio, however you want to say that. And then on 18, I do have a whole number, so I need to keep that. This 0.15, this goes to the hundredths place, so this is going to be 15 over 100. Factors of 15 would be 3 and 5. 3 is not a factor of 100, but 5 is, so I can reduce that. So I'm going to keep this 4 here, but I'm going to divide 15 by 5 and 100 by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 100 divided by 5, that's going to be 20. So that is going to be the most reduced that I can make that number. Okay, so you should be able to do the rest of these. Actually, let me go ahead and tell you. So for 21, sorry, I didn't see that. On 21, so if you could have guessed, if this is the tenths place, this is the hundredths place, this is the hundredths place, this is the thousandths place, so this is going to be out of 1,000. So you would put 25 over 1,000 for this one. So, I'll let you guys try to figure out how you can reduce that. Okay? So, well, let's think of this. I'll do this one with you, so let's think. 25 itself is a factor of 100. There's 4 25s in 100, and there is 10 100s in 1,000. So 10 times 4 will be 40. So this should be, so 25 times 40 should give me 1,000. Is that correct? So let me see. 4 times 5 is 20. That's 8. 4 times 2 is 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 1,000. So if I divide both of these by 25, this would be 1 on top, and this would be a 40 on the bottom. Okay, so you guys go ahead and try to work on that on your own, or you can work together if Ms. Pessel allows you. Maybe Lonnie and Darren, you guys can work together. Or sorry, AJ. I hope you guys have a good day. Thanks. Bye.